This is the Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast with Adam and Luke.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, Australia's only dedicated Formula One podcast. Have we checked to see if that's true yet, Luke? Have we done any research? You'd think after 2 years we would have found out if that's actually true.
Nah.
We'll do it for next week. It's official. F1 is back! Are you going to do it the high note? No?
No.
Okay. And it's the first race of 2019. It's just days away. And we are going to jump head first, trousers down, into the Australian Grand Prix as we now turn to my trusty co-pilot. The man, when it comes to Formula One, if he doesn't know about it, it's not worth knowing.
Thanks very much, Adam. We're in Melbourne. It all kicks off tomorrow with practice. I'm rocking a semi just thinking about it. It's a weekend we've been eagerly anticipating. Christmas, New Year, nah, bugger off. Australia Day, close.
Oh.
But should we move the date to coincide with the Australian Grand Prix F1 season opener?
Oh.
If Easter can move around, so can Australia Day. This year, it's the 17th of March. This is our Christmas. This is our present to ourselves. Staying in the Travelodge where more semen has been spilled in this room since Kiss stayed here in the 80s. I'm perched under the mistletoe for the first race of the season, waiting for the first action of 2019. It's been too long. What's in store? 21 different countries, 20 skilled drivers, 10 teams of racing, 2 dickheads talking, and a podcast in a pear tree.
Luke, welcome. That was special.
Did you like that?
That was... did you put some time into that? That seemed...
Yeah, 5 minutes.
That was really lovely. That was thorough.
Yeah.
But you got some good points in
There's
there.
a lot of semen in here.
We should have one of those little portable mobile blue lights.
The thing is, if you put the blue light on, you wouldn't know where the semen is because it's all covered in semen. It wouldn't be a dry patch.
Don't want to know.
The room's glowing white.
The question more is, what's
Is that
not?
a good thing or a bad
What's
thing?
not covered in semen? in this
Nothing.
room?
Nothing. So the blue light's erroneous. It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's stop talking about semen for 1 second. And it is a palatial room. It seems nice.
It's very nice.
1 bed, we'll manage. Top and tail it. Lovely view out to the wall. Is that a wall over there?
It could be the Wall of Champions.
Wall of Champions. It will be after this weekend. And we're going to podcast every single night of...
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing a practice podcast tomorrow. Then there'll be a qualifying podcast, followed by a race podcast. Podcast. It's been a long day. I haven't walked so much since, well, pre my children for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of...
You keep them on a leash so they don't go far.
Yeah, I can't. I'm too lazy. We've got our feet up, we've got our shoes off, and we're kind of a little bit exhausted right now, but that's all good. But we should get onto something more serious for the moment. The passing of the great man, more of a somber moment, Charlie Whiting, race director of Formula One, been in association with Formula One for many, many years, 1977, and passed away this morning at age 66. Big loss, Luke.
Big loss to the sport. A great character, much loved by everyone.
Yep, the drivers this morning at the press conference were saying some very lovely things. So our thoughts are with the family and the Formula One community. But let's not dwell on that too much because it would be too sad a podcast. Let's move on to the Australian Formula One Grand Prix. Good Lord, I can hear my mouth moving. What times can we expect it around the world, Luke? In Australia, Eastern Standard Time, what time is race time?
Race time is at 4:10 in the afternoon.
4:10.
Yep, that's 16:10 for those of you who are Army speak.
Very good. You wouldn't happen to know what time it would be in the west coast of the US?
That's at 10:10 in the evening on Saturday.
You're like a human encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah.
The east coast of America.
Oh, now you're testing me. 1:10 in the AM, Sunday morning for New York and the eastern coast.
Well done. Greenwich Mean Time.
Greenwich Mean Time, well, London, you can enjoy at 5:10 AM early morning. Grab your tea and biscuits.
Caucasus Mountains in Russia time.
Oh, that was about 3:10 in the AM in the Caucasus Mountains. They don't have great TV reception, but...
What about Chiang Mai? Thailand. What time can they expect to tune into the Grand Prix?
I've got a Thai restaurant that's called Chiang Mai Thai. It's around the same time that we have.
Yeah, we gotcha.
Which is about 3:10.
Damn, you're good. You nailed it. 3:10.
We don't have any listeners there, so. But hi to everyone in Chiang Mai.
Great. Thai food. How good is Thai food? Just quietly. Absolutely delicious. And laps on the Grand Prix. Luke, how many laps are we churning out here this weekend?
We're going to rock out 58 laps of the Albert Park circuit.
Yep.
There is 16 corners, all of them fast.
If you were good call, very good call. If you were to
fast in an F1 car, not so much anything else. Yeah.
It's not normally the driver's favourite track. There's not a huge amount of overtaking. That's the criticism. Yeah,
not a great amount of overtaking. A lot of stop-start 90-degree kind of corners. But it's quite a difficult place to get right. I heard a lot of drivers over the years say that on the simulator, it may feel kind of easy, but once you get on track, it's a little bit different. You got some fast flowy corners like turns 11 and 12, which is my favourite place, which I'll be watching qualifying from
the hill
on Saturday afternoon.
Well, that's the end of that hill.
Exit
of the hill.
Exit the hill.
That's fast. That
12.
Hill.
Very fast, and to see the cars change of direction from 11 and 12 is pretty impressive. There's a couple of good overtaking spots into 13 and turn 3. They're probably your main overtaking points. There's 3 DRS zones here.
Yep.
The lap record is still held by Michael Schumacher.
No.
A 1 minute 24.125. The circuit length is 5.303 kilometres.
The great man, Michael
First Grand
Schumacher.
Prix in 1996.
There you go. When they took it from Adelaide.
Yep, they nicked it.
They did.
So then it was the last race in Adelaide, was the last race of the year, the previous year in 95, where Schumacher won the title. Next year, the season started in Melbourne.
There
1996.
Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of changes with the cars. We've touched on this in the last podcast, the technical changes.
Yep.
What about the tyres, Luke? There are changes which we have not discussed with the tyres. Last year was a bit of a schmozzle with tyres. We had
hyper soft,
7
ultra
or
soft,
8
super soft, soft, medium, hard, and
ridiculous.
super hard.
Just so many choices of tyre. This year, not so many.
They've simplified it. They've made it that every race will have the same colouring scheme. So the softest will be the super soft. No, it will be the soft, then the medium, then the hard. But the compounds will change for the Grand Prix. So just like the compounds changed in previous years from Grand Prix to Grand Prix, they will change, but the colouring will stay the same. So to the normal average F1 watcher, the reds will be the softest, the yellows will be the medium tyre, and the white sidewalls will be the harder tyre. So this week it will be they'll have the C4 tyre, the C3 tyre, and the C2 tyre.
Right.
So that is the second softest. So C4 is the second softest tyre that they have.
Yep.
And the C5 is the quickest, and the C1 is the hardest.
Right.
So I don't think anyone's going to be using the C1 at all. But for everyone, it's just soft, medium, and a hard.
So they'll still have the 7 variations of tyres?
They'll only have 5.
5 variations.
5 variations of tyres.
But they're coloured soft, medium, hard.
Yep. Red, yellow, and white.
Right. Because it's too confusing.
Yep.
That's the purpose.
Yep. That was 7 tyres last year.
It was a bit excessive.
The super hard was a blue that was similar to the intermediate blue.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was a bit silly. Okay, they've simplified that. That's good. The forecast... previous winner
Previous winner, well...
of this race.
The great... it was Lewis Hamilton last year. He got it in the pit lane when the virtual safety car came out.
That's right, the virtual safety car.
Vettel was out in the lead. He didn't have a virtual safety car lead gap.
That's right.
So he pitted under virtual safety car, and that's how he won the race. If it wasn't for that virtual safety car, if it was a normal safety car, Sebastian Vettel would have won that race.
Yeah, we're not fans of the virtual safety car.
You don't like anything virtual.
No.
Neither do I.
We like
Reality.
We're not big fans of
Not
virtual.
just real, it's double real.
Double real. So, yeah, that'd be nice to get rid of the virtual. Hopefully it's not another win like that under the virtual safety car.
I hope not, but it changed it up.
It did, at least.
If Ferrari had done their maths right, they would have realised the virtual safety car gap was Sebastian could have made that gap. He had time to put that gap on Lewis, and he had the pace to do it.
Yep.
But they thought, we're at the gap that we need to be just in case this comes out. And when it happened, Lewis was in front of him. So hopefully they've got a new mathematician down at Ferrari.
They made some mistakes last year.
They did.
They need not make them this year, or
They
they're
need
going to
to
be in
tidy up
trouble
shop,
again,
for
because
sure.
they are certainly looking strong. They look very strong in testing. So whether that translates to race pace, we don't really know. It's too early. Everyone's saying that, yes, Ferrari has an advantage, maybe 0.3, but we don't really know for sure. This is when we'll find out. Tomorrow, and in particular, qualifying is when we'll really find out if anyone's been sandbagging, holding back a little bit.
Yeah.
You'd think, I mean, there's talk of Red Bull being equal, if not faster than Ferrari. Hard to believe.
And the last day, Mercedes put out some good lap times. So it'll be interesting. I think, the bullshit's going to stop on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
We're going to find out who gets pole.
Yeah.
See who's the quickest.
Do you have any inkling that anyone's holding back? Do you think that any teams are not showing everything they've got? Probably all of them, really. They're not all showing
Yeah, I think Ferrari may have a little bit bigger lead than they put on.
a bit more than you think.
I think they've got more in the tank. And I think Lewis today was saying that it's tightened up the top. But I think Ferrari's well ahead.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of concern
that's
in his voice.
Kind of what we thought last year. So Ferrari really need to take advantage of that straight up. And
they need to maximise their points from race one.
Because everyone else is going to develop fast. Red Bull, synonymous for being fast at,
developing a car throughout the season, yeah.
Mercedes the same. Renault, Haas, big budgets, they could all do that.
Yep, Ferrari need to put the blows in early,
Mm-hmm.
work the body, and try and get it done early.
Yep.
And if they maximise their potential, if they have good pit stops, if they don't make any mistakes like they did last year, they should win it. It looks through testing and through what I've heard from various pundits that Ferrari's got the lead.
Smart money says if you had a $5 and you were going to chuck it on something, you chuck it on the red. You wouldn't go black, you chuck it all on red, I think, this weekend.
All on the red, and I'd go with
Charles, wouldn't you?
I like Charles, and I think he's super quick. I think he might take a couple of races.
Yep.
But he's Charles Leclerc. He doesn't need a couple of races. That man can do it.
He's
He
pretty
can do
good.
it Sunday.
I think see, for me, this is where we differ. I think Sebastian's going to step up this year, and we'll see a different Sebastian. We need to see a different Sebastian. Or this could be the last year for Sebastian if Charles wipes
Then
him.
he won't Skype
wipes
us
the floor.
anymore.
Then he's not going to be happy, and he won't talk to us. And he's a big part of this podcast,
Massive
Sebastian
part.
Vettel. The weather forecast for the weekend, Luke. How's the weather looking? Say there's going to be rain, please.
No rain.
Damn it.
Which is good for us because we got a lot of electronic equipment that we don't want to fry.
True.
So
That is a good point.
think about it from that side of things.
Yeah.
Between 28 to 30 degrees pretty much every day.
Okay.
Warm. Maybe a bit of cloud on Sunday, but no rain expected. I think there's a 6% chance on Sunday.
It's not high.
That's pretty low.
It's low.
Yeah. So expect some tan lines, some burnt noses, and a lot of drunk mingers.
Yeah. So many. And
Saw a few walking out this afternoon.
Yeah, we did,
Struggling
didn't
to
we?
walk.
Yeah, God. It's like being in the horse race. You always get the horse race strugglers, don't you? At the end of the day, end of the horse meet.
Grabbing their shoes in their hands.
Yeah. Squat
Looks like they're
behind a truck.
dancing to no music.
Yeah, just swaying. Yeah. What about some news, Luke? We've got the extra point is now going to be awarded from Melbourne this weekend. Extra point will be awarded for the fastest lap.
That's correct.
Only if you're in the top 10 finishes. It only affects the top 10 finishes. This could throw a spanner in the works.
It could. I don't think it's going to, if no one's going to basically go into the pits. And the reason why they wanted it to be a top 10 finisher is because someone could go in at the last 2 laps, whack a bunch of the softer tyres on, brand new, go out, get a point for the team. And, Williams could have 21 points by the end of the season.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to happen because that's why they've made it to the top 10. It's an original going back to the start of F1. They actually had a point for fastest lap. So taking it back a little bit and, it's...
I think it's going to be interesting.
I don't see it's going to change a championship or, if you finish in the top 10, if you're not in the top 10, if you finish 11th, then no points awarded. That's the thing. So, are you going to risk possibly putting in the wall, getting a puncture, running a little bit wide to get that extra point? Like if you're 6th or something, maybe. But you've got tire deg to think of. I think it'll be a matter of if it happens, it happens.
Yep.
Some drivers like Sebastian Vettel loves getting a fastest lap.
Sure. Last year, Bottas, unbelievably, most number of fastest laps.
Yep. So many fast laps, 0 overtakes.
No overtaking.
Yeah.
How about some points for overtaking? There's an idea for making Formula One great again.
Yeah. But how do you judge overtaking? Is it an overtaking move, or is it just going past someone and gaining position? Because that could happen if they run wide. So it's not an overtaking move. So it needs to be
a definite move.
Yep.
But I still like the extra point for the fastest lap. I think it still adds an extra element that I think there's going to be a bit of mischief in there somewhere. Somewhere along the line, someone's going to push too hard, probably slam into a wall or someone else and cause a yellow flag.
The interesting thing to that is and I haven't heard anyone talk about this, and it just came to my head then. If let's say your team's in the top 10, you're fighting for the championship. Yep. Let's say Leclerc has had a bad day, he's outside the top 10. Sebastian Vettel's second, Lewis has already done the fastest lap early in the race. And they go, Charles, you're not going to score a point. Come in, put some fresh boots on, get the fastest lap to take the point away from Lewis.
Right.
That's an interesting
it's a
strategy.
Team tactic.
It could be. Or it could be Red Bull. We'll say to Toro Rosso, chuck some boots on, get the fast lap. You're not going to score any points. Get the fast lap. Take the point off whoever has the fastest lap. So there's that way of doing it.
But on that, you're saying that if Charles is outside the top 10.
Yeah. So if you have a bad day, or let's say Red Bull are doing it with Toro Rosso, or they say, listen, go in, do the fast lap. It takes a point away from the person who's got it.
But if they're outside the top 10,
they won't get it. But there's no points awarded.
Oh.
So the point is awarded if they do the fast lap and they're in the top 10.
You could still be in the top 10 and not be awarded a fastest lap because
you
someone
won't get
outside
a
the top 10 has
So if you're 11th and do the fastest lap, you get no point.
Gotcha.
So that's a way of taking a point away from someone. So it's not just someone getting a point, it's you taking it off them.
Yeah.
Because they can't do another fastest lap. So if someone's having a bad day, or Toro Rosso's saying, hey, you're not going to score any points, you're with us, you're with Red Bull, go chuck some fresh boots on, take the point off Sebastian or take the point off Lewis, and therefore, bang.
That is an interesting concept.
It's actually, you're taking a point away, not letting them have a point. So I haven't had anyone talk about that. Maybe you could talk to some people about that tomorrow.
Good tactic. I don't know why I'd be chatting to those people. Oh, that's right. I might be in the paddock. I might have a paddock pass. How did we afford this on a lousy budget?
It's all of our sponsors.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what
They're anonymous sponsors. We're not allowed to mention their name.
The smooth taste of paddle. This refreshing cigarette.
Jack's Crack Dealers. We can't mention them on the podcast, but geez, they make good crack. Goes down smooth. Kids don't do crack.
God, do you get now, rumours are that Williams may have a problem. Bigger problem than we thought they might have.
There was some rumours going around saying that Williams won't have a second car for this weekend.
They barely had one car for practice.
Yeah, they struggled to get to testing on time. I don't know if the rumours are true. I haven't been in the paddock, unlike one of us. And maybe Detective Adam could
I'll get to the bottom of it. I'll get to the bottom of it.
So do you have two cars here? We'll know by practice tomorrow if two roll out. If one rolls out, who's going to sit out? Would it be Kubica or would it be George Russell?
Got to be George.
Boy George.
I did have a
Boy George, that's his nickname.
Boy George.
One of the choices that could be a possibility.
Yeah, we're going to vote on the nicknames.
Because he can't grow a mustache.
We're going to be voting on nicknames, and we're going to need your help.
Yes.
So I'm going to visit the effing number one Twitter handle, and we're going to put up a whole bunch of options. You get to choose the nicknames of the drivers this year. Whole bunch of new drivers, all new nicknames.
Because what do we do here at the Effing One podcast?
We make Formula One great again. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
It's our mission statement.
Yep.
We try our very best.
We should get that tattooed somewhere. Like on my forehead.
That's a nice idea. Yeah. You will never want to remove it, I'm sure.
No, not at all.
Lovely guy, George Russell. Had a good chat with him today.
Oh, did you have a good chat with him? That's nice.
Am I name dropping again?
No. George Russell.
Lovely
Who
guy.
are you? Who are you?
Kubica. Kubica he's like...
I had a chat with Robert Kubica today.
You
Did
have
you?
it. I didn't. I couldn't get hold
I
of
had
him.
a chat with Kivyat too, and I forgot to press record.
You forgot to push record on the button.
Yeah, the big
On
red
the-
button.
Nice one, Luke.
Forgot to press.
Really clever.
Don't worry, he didn't give me much.
Okay.
And
didn't
what
miss
I
much.
did ask him, he answered really well, but it turns out doesn't lead to anything. So it wasn't funny. Didn't miss anything.
No harm done, Luke.
Yeah,
No harm done. Kubica, got to be the nicest guy. Well, he and Dan, downright the nicest. And what a great story he's got. He's back at Formula One, his return, and he was the second last to leave the coupe, the press coupe,
Press coupe.
as the press, the paparazzi was, and the first one out of there, Hamilton. Just got out of there.
Pulled the
ASAP.
pin. Pulled the chute
pin.
early.
Dan talked to every single person. He waited for every single camera, every microphone to leave before he left. And Kubica wasn't that far before him that he left. Just
Now,
goes to show the two nicest guys in
I
the
just
paddock
wonder if it's nice or they're just too slow.
to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're just spending too much time
Kubica's
chatting.
a bit slow when he talks.
He is a
But
little slow.
there is also that English barrier.
He does sound a little bit like Count Dracula. I've come to suck your blood.
I don't understand the question.
The question.
He said that about 3 times to me today. I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
What are you asking? What are you asking this question?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is tough.
Is it the accent?
Got it out there in the
Is
first.
it this annoying Aussie accent?
What's wrong with this, mate?
What are you
Hey?
talking about, mate?
Hey, do you want a meat pie or not?
Can't you understand what
You
I'm
want a
saying?
tinny? You want a tinny? Have a tinny.
Oh, jeez,
What do
mate.
you mean you don't have a tinny? Yeah, so confused him.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to, Mr. Paddock Pass?
What am I looking forward to?
Yeah.
More free sandwiches. They've got a great assortment of sandwiches. Didn't I smuggle some sandwiches down for you today?
You did.
See?
You did.
See?
I didn't get to
I
order
don't
any.
know why you're being so uppity with the
I don't like.
Paddock Pass people.
Yeah.
Well, you got
snobs.
it in for us, Paddock Pass
Snobbery.
people.
Up there in your ivory tower looking down upon us peasants.
Is this water cold? I'm just going to have a drink of
You
water.
can't
This is
have
not-
room temperature water.
This is not cold. They would never do this. Hang on, let me have a drink. Oh, how can I drink this? This would never happen in the paddock.
tepid.
This would never happen in the paddock. Anyway, can't wait to get back in there where I belong.
You should have just slept there.
You think I could?
Of course you could.
Well, at least I wouldn't have to go top and tail
Now, I was
with
going
you.
to ask you the question before, but
Mm.
were you nervous? Were you nervous in there?
I was... Look, you know I was nervous.
And you've got a good, like, in terms of talking to people you've never met before, you're very, very good. You're amazing at it. I'm terrible. Give me 5 minutes, I'll warm up, I'm good. But you just smash them with charisma.
I don't know if that's true, Luke. That's very kind of you to say so. I was packing my dacks.
That's what that
Well,
smell was. You
you know-
came home and you changed your pants very quickly.
That in soaking in the bathroom, don't go near it.
Right.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
It's weird because you think that you'd be fine. You think Sebastian's walking towards you, and you're just gonna come out with something funny to say or smooth, and it's just awkward. You just you go, what am I gonna say?
You think, am I going to get their attention?
Yeah.
And then you do get it. You're like, oh, now I've got their attention. How long can I keep their attention for? What should I say that's quick, or or will they stay long enough to go into
Right.
it?
Well, magnify that by 100 because there are people in everywhere you look. You go, oh wow, that's Johnny Herbert. Oh man, there's Damon Hill. Oh boy, there's Toto Wolff, and it's almost too much.
I'm going to give you a mission. A, to get Toto Wolff to say, get to the chopper. Just ask him,
Yeah.
what's your favourite mode of transport? And
But it
what
can't be.
And what do you say
It can't be a train.
before you get to it?
It can't be a bus. It can only be
Has to be a propellered aircraft that takes off vertically.
vertically. Can go side to side
So what would you say?
of that favorite
Get
transportation.
to the chopper. Yes!
And then run
He
away.
said-
Run away.
Woo, woo, woo.
Is that my mission tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
God.
Toto would just look at you.
I'm
with this
already
strange look,
nervous.
like,
I'm
why?
already nervous.
Why is he doing this?
But what I did manage to get was some drivers, mostly drivers, input on what they thought would be good to make Formula One great, as a carryover from last year from our Twitter listeners. Ways that we could make Formula One great, like a gigantic pinata over the straight. When things get a bit dull, a bit boring, people at home in the stadium can push a little button and that releases...
I thought it was a
something.
driver has a stick and he drives past and whacks it.
Brilliant. There's another one. There's two versions of that.
Two versions.
Of the pinata.
There's a caveat.
There. The drivers get bored, they whack it. The fans get bored, they push a button that releases the pinata and the contents of it.
Yeah.
And of course, you got the reverse parking. So to Dan Ricciardo, look, I'm not going to give too much away because we're going to use the audio.
You'll hear this tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but there's some positive feedback from the drivers to make Formula One great again, and that gives us the extra little bit of impetus that we can now take to liberty and say, okay, so you may have slammed the door on us last year when we turned up to Liberty Media with a briefcase full of ideas to make Formula One great again. But now we've got the backing of drivers.
And, you know, we
got to
did
take us seriously.
We did see one of the heads of Formula One. So I actually saw Ross Brawn when I walked in.
Yep.
He was a bit somber, so I'm guessing he already knew of Charlie's passing.
Yep.
But I did see not Chase Carey. Who's the other guy? I didn't bat an eyelid when I heard him, when I saw him.
Not Chase Carey, the other dude.
Yeah.
The
other guy. It's like one of the three tennies you never remember.
The big moustache. The non-moustache
The one with the big eyebrows.
The big eyebrows.
Yeah.
The other American tall guy.
Head of marketing and...
Yeah. It'll come. It's all right. There's been a lot of people today. It's been confusing.
You've talked to a lot of people. I did manage to get Esteban Ocon and chat with him about making F1 great again. He had a bit of time for me, which was quite nice as he was walking down the Melbourne Walk.
Yep. He's
an incredibly lean man. He has to run around and shout to get wet, apparently.
He is, and as is Charles Leclerc. Like, they are tall, skinny drivers. Yeah.
Is George Russell tall?
He's pretty tall.
Yeah.
George Russell's tall. It's interesting. He's one of the really friendly ones. In fact, the young ones are really friendly. Pierre Gasly, Charles Leclerc, George Russell. Didn't see Lando Norris today, but
I saw Lando.
And obviously Dan, the personality, Ricciardo, will he gives time to anyone. Like no one else looked me in the eyes, and because I'm a nobody, we're nobodies. But for Dan to walk along and go, yeah, man, cool, I'll chat with you. 10, 20, 30 seconds and looks you in the eye and listens to it. The other guys are just head down. They don't really care. They're not listening. They're just... So it says a lot. Formula One needs more personalities like Dan.
Maybe they should just boot out anyone who doesn't have a personality.
Could we...
Maybe that's the way that we can make F1 great again.
It's a prerequisite before you get your super license.
It's a personality test.
It's a personality test first.
Turns out you're dull as fuck. Out you go.
Yep. Oh, you're incredibly fast. Tick. Oh, you failed the personality test.
You're boring as batshit.
Yeah.
Go drive for Williams.
Yeah. You're a rich kid.
No, go drive for Racing Point.
Racing. Yep. Sorry, there's only two spots for you the boring ones. Racing Point.
There you go.
Here we go.
What's the point?
Yeah.
That might be there.
Okay, so we're going to have two boring drivers. Maximum.
Yeah.
But let's get some interesting people with some life experience, some stories to tell.
Charisma.
That's what Formula One's all about.
It is.
It's sadly been lacking. Anyway, let's not...
I've thought of...
Yes.
I did think of some nicknames, and I'm going to chuck it out on Twitter, see if they like it more. I've gone with Mr. F1 Paddock Pass, because...
Who?
You.
Oh, me?
Yes, because you're Mr. F1 Paddock Pass. I'm Mr. Cow Paddock Pass, out the back, chewing on cud. So there's four choices.
It's a media pass.
It's media.
It's
just...
It's not cold.
It's nowhere near.
It's not chilled water with a slice of lime.
It's straight from the hose.
Yeah.
Remember as a kid, you used to just smash down that Nilex. So, the four choices that I'm going to put on Twitter, see if anyone is interested in voting for these. This is because we've got drivers' nicknames.
It's only fair that we have nicknames.
So I've given four options for your nickname that I'm going to call you for the rest of the season.
Okay.
And I'll put it out to you on Twitter.
Yeah.
The four options are the Velvet Vocal Cords.
Ooh, nice. Thanks, Luke.
Smooth voice.
Thanks, bro.
It gets worse.
Thanks, man.
The loud one.
The loud one? I'm not that loud, am I?
You have a booming voice.
Okay, right.
My voice is quite dull compared to yours. Loud doesn't mean bad. Just
Okay.
right.
Yep.
The
Well,
talent.
Wouldn't you say colourful then?
No, I said.
Okay.
I said
Wow.
loud.
Okay.
The talented podcaster. I think you bring the talent. I think you're on air talent compared to me.
Look, take it
No,
easy.
no. I'm not dissing me. I'm just saying I've got to give you some nice ones because there's some shit ones.
Is this because we're sleeping like within a foot of each other
So
tonight?
there's the velvet vocal cords, the loud one,
Yeah.
the talented
Why are you
podcaster,
being so nice to me, Luke? I'm
and wish I
suspicious.
was Luke. Wish you were out there
Yeah.
in the shitty cow paddock with me.
Yeah, that sounds more like it to me. I know what I'm voting for. I'm voting for... Can I vote now? Where's the laptop? Give it here.
No, don't do
Wish
that.
I
No,
was
That's just gay porn.
Luke. There it is. Locked in. Well, that means I've got to come up with some nicknames for you to vote for.
Yeah,
For Twitter, all right.
yeah.
Yep.
You think of that.
Wish I had eyebrows. Oh, that's just
Now
cruel.
I'm sensitive about my eyebrows.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
So we're going to go. I'm going to ask you some championship predictions.
Okay.
So the idea is you're going to, like, this isn't part of a tipping competition. I just
No.
want your insight, advice, and what your prediction is. Who's going to come first in the championship?
Sure, there won't be any points, but it will be brought up at the end of the season.
Of course it will.
Of course it will.
If
There
we
are
re-
bragging
If we
rights.
remember it, there's 21 races.
Yeah.
So I want who's going to win the Drivers' Championship? Who's going to win the Constructors' Championship? Also, who's going to come last in both?
Okay, just first and last. I think this could be the changing of the guard. I'm going to go out there on a limb, and contrary to last year when we could have said the same thing, I am going to say that Sebastian Vettel will win his 5th world title,
Wow.
and equal that of Fangio and Lewis. And I'm going to also... The reason being, I think he's not going to make as many mistakes. Ferrari will keep a larger advantage. I just can't see them stuffing up that badly again. It would be unlikely. Well, maybe. See, Mercedes is smart. They do everything right. But I think maybe Ferrari should have learned a lesson. And I think Charles will be really good halfway through. But I think by that stage it'll be too late. Sebastian would have already got the majority of the points earlier on in the season. So, Sebastian for me to win. Ferrari to take out the championship, because when you got Bottas as a teammate, sorry, I mean...
And I think that's going to be the deciding point for them changing. They need someone who'll be more consistent. Because
Yeah.
Bottas isn't like... If the top two teams, which say Ferrari and Mercedes, he won't be in the top 4 sometimes. He could be 7th.
He needs to be top 4.
So he'll need to be
Yeah.
top 4 to take the championship to Ferrari. And I don't think he'll be
No.
able to do that.
I agree, 100%. And I also think a caveat to that,
Oh.
Ocon will be taking Bottas'
Agreed.
place at Ferrari, because he's waiting in the wings, champing at the bit.
He is champion.
Champing. And last place, Williams. They're so far behind, it's ridiculous. And I will say that Kubica will come last. I don't want it to happen because I love the guy,
Yep.
but I just think it's gonna be tough physically for him for a whole season. I hope he does well. I love the guy, but I don't know if he's going to be able to beat young up and coming talent like George Russell,
Yeah.
GP2 champion.
All right, my predictions for first place, as I've said this in a previous podcast, I think it's going to be Charles Leclerc.
Oh, I love it.
That boy is pretty. I tell you what,
He's a good looking chap.
he's a good-looking fella.
He's a good looking rooster.
Yeah, and I think he will just have this calm. He's always had this calm nature about him in terms of when he goes racing and he just puts the helmet on and gets the job done, and he does it really well.
Yeah.
First 3 races of last year, he didn't quite understand. Then it clicked, and he went bang, bang, bang. He was racing Alonso in the Sauber.
Do you think out of the box he's going to be as good as...
Yeah, he had 3. He learnt in 3 races last year. Straight away, learnt. Then started taking out and getting good places. Getting into Q3,
Yeah.
that's...
He does seem to have ice in his veins. He seems pretty cool under pressure.
When you see what he did in GP2, Formula 2, he dominated. like no one's dominated before.
There is a good batch of young drivers coming through.
Yeah, he's a great kid. He's well spoken. He's got time, and he's just,
He looks like a world champion, talks like a world champion, walks like a world champion.
Yeah, he's been bred to be world champion. So I think it's me, Chuck. And I think Ferrari will win the constructors. Last place will be Williams, but I think it'll be Russell.
Yep.
If Lance Stroll was still at Williams, I'd say Lance Stroll.
Yeah. I'd love Lance to come.
But I think Daddy's going to try and buy him some points at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's our pre-season predictions of championship and donkey's ass last.
I like it. This will be replayed and rubbed in someone's face at the end of the season.
When Lewis wins the championship, we get
not again. But like you said, what a nice guy, Lewis Hamilton. And we bag him out in jest. We like to have fun at his expense sometimes because he can be over the top when he, praises higher powers. But what a nice guy. You saw him today. Chatting to kids. The cameras weren't there. He's doing this when the camera's not there.
Yeah.
Being genuinely friendly and helpful.
I got my way up on stage on the autograph stage when signing autographs for all the fans, and took some photos of him up there, and just watching his interactions with everyone. He wasn't saying the same thing. He was being personable. He was being considerate and genuine. And if someone's trying to get too many autographs or taking up too much time, he's like, "No, mate, it's too much."
Yeah.
And then because there's a lot of people to get through.
Yeah.
And yeah, just treated everyone really, really well. And I saw towards the end of last season, he changed me. I was like, this guy's, calmed down. He wasn't so egotistical as what I thought he was.
Yep.
And then seeing him interact, like when he walks through the paddock, not walk through it because I wasn't there, but when he walks from the paddock to the autograph stage, head down, earphones in, go from A to B.
Yep.
You're not going to stop him. But
No.
once he was up there, completely different man, because I can imagine you walking through, everyone wants selfies, always wants his sauce.
Yep.
But once he was on stage and that was his job to do it, bang, he did it.
He almost seems like the reverse of a modern driver where they've had a really easy time of it all their life. They've been backed by so much money, often from wealthy families, seeing the good part of... He hasn't come from that background. He's come from a very grounded background without too much money. And he seems to be less likely to give time to the rich and the famous. Like seeing him in the paddock, with mingling with the rich, he's not interested. He just powers past them, but he goes out, to the common folk.
Oh, especially kids.
To the
Anyone in wheelchairs, disabilities, spends all the time. I saw Billy Munger today.
Did you?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So he's a great guy, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Teammate battles. What do you think?
So just we're going to go through each team, and you're going to choose which, no explanation. Just quick fire, bang,
Who's
bang.
gonna win out of those two? End of the season or just for the Grand Prix?
For the season.
For the season, Hamilton will beat Bottas. Sebastian will beat Leclerc. Max will beat Gasly. Dam will beat Hulkenberg. Magnussen will beat Grosjean. Raikkonen will beat Giovinazzi. Albon will beat Kvyat.
Yep.
Going on that's my limb. That's out on a limb right there. Who else are we missing?
Racing Point.
Racing Point. Perez will beat Stroll.
McLaren.
That's tricky. Say Carlos Sainz, and then
Williams.
Then I better stick with my original call when I said that Kubica will come last. So Russell for me.
So I'm going to go Hamilton, Leclerc, Max, Daniel, Grosjean, Kimi, Kvyat, Perez, Sainz, Kubica.
Some differences there between us.
Few. Yeah.
Very good. I like it. By the way, Grosjean, really lovely guy.
Oh.
Chatted to him today.
Yeah.
And he's another genuine guy There's some in the paddock that I just don't want to talk to.
He rides to the track. He gets on there on bike.
There you go.
He was actually on the Gold Coast last week, lapping up some of our nature. He went surfing with the Hazard twins down at Snapper Rocks.
Yeah.
He had a great time.
Oh.
And I had a chat with him about the Gold Coast, and he went down the Natural Bridge, which is a beautiful part of the Gold Coast, nice waterfall. And I told him, mate, you need to go there at night. There's glowworms.
Oh. And did he take that advice?
He did.
Oh, that's brilliant. We should mention before we go, Luke's mum. Luke's mum is back in 2019, and she is baking up a storm again. It's tradition that she will always make us a nice assortment, an array of
You know what she did
treats.
for us?
What did she do today?
Well,
It
because
doesn't look like she's been...
she's not here. She's not in Melbourne.
No.
She's about to go on a massive camping trip.
Yep.
So what she's done is she's Uber Eats all of this delicious food for us.
Oh, all these Aussie treats.
Yep.
Lamingtons.
Meat pies.
Meat pies. Pavlova.
Lots of pav.
Lots of pav. Let me just taste some of that. Oh,
You know what's inside that pav?
what's that?
Lamb.
Oh, God, yes. My favourite type of pav.
Yep. See that pav over there?
Yep.
That's all garlic sauce on top.
It's not actually cream.
no.
It's garlic
you just tasted the cream one, but you look the garlic sauce on the lamb.
Oh, Mrs. Luke.
She knows you well.
You've done it again. Damn you. You spectacular woman, you. A
And
pavlova with garlic sauce.
And did you want to do predictions now for the race, or did you want to wait after practice?
Let's wait after practice.
All right.
Because we're going to unpack lots more stuff over the next few days. Just a little tempter, a little forward sell. We've got all of the driver audio, and a lot of that audio contains
Swears.
a lot of swearing, ideas from the drivers about how to make Formula One great again, and just some really great audio. And I think that should stay in the next podcast.
That'll be in the next one.
Yep. So we're going to podcast practice tomorrow,
Yep.
the Friday,
Yep.
the Saturday after qualifying, and then the Sunday.
Sunday
race.
night, the big one.
It's massive, Luke. Are you ready?
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, mate.
Still hard.
A festival of motor racing right here in Australia. It's just bloody brilliant.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, Luke. We're going to return tomorrow, and let's do it. Luke, shall we get to bed, top and tail?
See you on Twitter and Instagram.
Don't touch me when I'm sleeping.
Effing One Podcast.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
See you then.